Okay, good evening, everyone. It is 5 PM, April 7th, 2025, and it's time to call the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. Ms. Jones, roll call, please.
Mayor Barnett,
Present.
Mr. Austin,
Here.
Ms. Gross.
Perfect.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Would you all stand for the pledge, please? All right, again, thank you for coming today. Gets us to our, any announcements or public comments that does not pertain to the agenda. Seeing none, we will go on to the consent agenda.
Move to approve the meeting minutes of March 17th Board of Works meeting and also the approval of claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
No old business. We'll go right into new business. Request approval to park bookmobile outside of the Art Craft on April 23rd from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. And then I'm taking this that on June the 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th, and July the 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th, from 9 to 10 a.m. Is there anybody here from the Art Craft?
I'm from the library.
Okay.
Can you come up to, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and let me know if I was right on what I read there.
Yes, you're correct. Yep, I'm here with the library, not the art craft. But
Okay, so it would be, again, it would be April 23rd from 5:30 to 8:30. And then the rest of them will be from 9 to 10 a.m., June 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th, July the 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. And April, I don't see any problems with that.
April, do I recall you did that last year as well?
yeah, it's during their kids' summer break series, so we have the bookmobile out there to greet everyone before they go into the movie.
That's what I thought for the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
And it's there in that hatched-off, no parking area, right? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I don't have any issues with it. I don't think our police department or fire department does, so, okay.
I was just telling Kirby, it's when they do the kids' movies there.
It's kind of neat. They have
Okay, so.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve to park the bookmobile outside of the Art Craft as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming, April. Okay, next item, request to use public parking lot on East Wayne Street next to the Garment Factory from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday, May 31st of 2025. Is somebody from the Garment Factory here?
Mr. Mayor, I don't know if you were included on the email, but I received an email from Mr. Bemis earlier this morning withdrawing that request. They're still going to have their event, but they didn't need the parking lot anymore, so.
Okay.
Jan, were you included on
I
that
was not.
request?
Okay, so,
I know I didn't dream it. Let me double check it.
okay, so I will make a motion to take it off the agenda until notified otherwise.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item, request approval of Swap Your Pump trial pump agreement with Penn Valley Pump for wastewater treatment plant, DPW Assistant Superintendent Ray Rooks. Don't be nervous, Ray, it'll be
Yeah, I
okay.
know. Okay, I'm going to try to explain this process short. So, back in the back of the plant, we have an SDR tank, actually two of them, and there's two pumps in that basement. We've repaired one of them several times, spent a lot of money trying to repair it, and it's to the point where we can't repair it anymore. So we have a second pump, and for a long time, we've been kind of limping this pump along. It's been running about 20 gallons a minute. It should be pumping over 100. And we finally tore it down the other day, repaired it, got it back going again. We're pumping 110 gallons a minute out of it. But when we're doing that, we're trying to run two presses to get our material out. And what we're doing to that one pump in the basement we just repaired is just running it to death. So we need some redundancy on that, and we need to see about getting a another pump downstairs in the basement next to this one, which we are getting 2 new Penn Valley pumps during the project, but we want to get one ahead of time and get it going so we can make it to the point to where we can actually make sure we don't break down again, because if we break down, it upsets the plant, causes odors, and we have all kinds of issues that happen if we don't have any kind of redundancy. So the cost on that pump's right around $46,000.
And Ray, just to clarify, when we get the new plant, this pump is going to be usable in the new plant?
Yes, we'll be putting this pump in, and it's actually what is gonna be, we're gonna have 2 of them. So we'll already have this one put in if this goes through okay, and then we'll have another one put in when the plant is being done, so we'll have 2 new pumps. And, they'll be the same exact pump, and we'll be great.
Ray, forgive my ignorance, but when you use the word pump, this is something that pumps the effluent that you have
So-
that needs to,
Yeah, it pumps the sewer out of the S&DR tanks up to our belts, which, on those belts, they run through, and then it kind of squeezes the water out, pushes it outside, we scoop it up, we haul it away.
Okay.
So it's kind of a
you
must
use your
process.
terms that I
I
have,
know.
I have
I
to
was
talk
I
slower
was-
to the lawyer, yeah.
I was trying not to.
Okay,
I
thank
was
you,
trying-
thank you. Sounds like a race ipsa, I'll throw some
Yeah.
word out, make it sound like it's important.
Anyways.
Okay.
I had a few questions. I don't know if they were forwarded to you or not. Some of them kind of cancel out knowing that these are the pumps that we're going to use in the future project. My biggest concern with this agreement was a statement that said if the unit performs but the customer chooses not to purchase, a refurbishment fee of $5,500 will be assessed. So,
Excuse me. Tina, we did respond. He and I responded. Maybe you didn't receive that, but we received an email from the representative, and that $5,500 is kind of their fallback so that we're not using them as a free pump for a 180-day period. However, if the pump fails mechanically, then that fee, that $5,500 fee is null and void. But if we, after 180 days, say, oh, we changed our mind, and we're just using them, then that $5,500 is applicable.
Correct.
However, we have done research, we've visited plants, 2 plants that have these. Ray has actually worked on one in the past. We had a demonstration from the people, and we're very confident it will work in our application. So we did do, and I apologize if you didn't, I forwarded that to Ray, and we sat there and responded together. I don't know why you didn't get it.
well, I was buried in email today.
Got it.
So
Okay.
it could be that it's in
Okay.
there.
I'll check those in the morning and make sure that.
I got a copy of it, because I was CC'd on it.
Yeah, I saw it.
I saw it.
So what else, Tina?
So it says that the clause that bothered me was satisfactorily.
Got
So
it.
it works, but we found a few kinks in it, then we still have to pay the refurbishment fee.
Well, we're very limited on the choices we have. So between the engineer, Ray, other vendors, this is the only pump we've found that works in this application.
Okay.
I mean,
They
so.
are a
we're-
fantastic pump.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's why, it is a pricey pump, but for this application, I think we've done our due diligence in researching on this pump.
Okay,
So we feel very confident.
okay.
And the $5,500 is to rework it. It's a new pump.
$1,000.
It's a new pump. The $5,500 fee is to refurbish it to a new condition after 180 days of use.
Correct. If
but
we give it back.
They won't charge us anything.
Right.
On it because, yeah, they're not gonna charge anything regardless. I've talked to Rebecca Lee at HPT, and they won't charge us anything because, I mean, it's gonna work fine. And she said regardless, if we didn't like it at all, she said they would not charge us. That's just a protection for them, like Sally was explaining, that if, we're just trying to use their pump for a while.
Course, of
You know,
course.
that's all that's for.
Understand.
I
That makes
actually
sense.
sent that.
It's like wearing the prom dress to the prom and then returning it on the Monday afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you liked it, but.
I wore your shirt
but
today,
you-
but I'm
now
taking
you
it
wanna
back
turn it
tomorrow.
back.
So,
But,
yeah.
but to your point, and thank you for asking it, Tina, because I appreciated it, because I automatically just went to the default, because you see these sometimes in these large equipment things,
Mm-hmm.
that the satisfactorily was for our argument that we could say, it doesn't work satisfactorily, as
Yeah.
opposed to, we just decided we didn't want it. So
Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate you pointing out, but I think it somewhat helpful to us.
Okay,
And also noticed in there, the $2,500 is for a one-day setup and training, so to speak.
Yes.
Of the units, $2,500 as well. And then you got, $1,000 shipping. Pressure switch, another $1,400. But that's part of what you need to make this do exactly what you
Yeah.
want it to do.
Yeah, that's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything installed and
Thank you.
training and everything.
Thank you.
no, thank you. Thanks for that
We
explanation.
would ask that this is paid out of unappropriated funds, the general sewer utility, and we have the funds. Thank you.
We good with that?
Yep. All right, I will make a motion to approve the swap your pump trial pump agreement with Penn Valley Pump for wastewater treatment plant using general
Sewer utility. funds.
sewer utility funds.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Ray. Okay, next item, request approval of professional services agreement with Crossroad Engineers, PC, for design and part-time inspection of the Commerce Drive and Meyer traffic signal. City engineer, that's a new one, isn't it?
I know. How's it
City
sound?
engineer?
Sounds good to me.
Matt McElroy.
He's got a few more.
I do miss Mark, though. He's a good guy, so. Yeah, this is a professional service agreement with Crossroad Engineers for design and part-time inspection, as stated, for the Commerce Drive and Meyer traffic signal. Basically, this project is just a simple traffic signal. It'll be at the second entrance west of US 31, which will be the signal, and then extending the existing concrete median all the way to that intersection to kind of keep traffic from doing U-turns there closer to the 31 intersection. So this is just the design. The construction will be bid later this fall, with our goal, based on materials and stuff for the strain poles, will be spring construction next year, so.
This is solely our project, because we are trying to get ahead of and anticipating that people will try to detour around the 31 project when it's going on.
Well, that and anticipation for a development on the north side of Commerce, that a traffic study was done with Meyer that indicated with that
We needed one.
going in, we would need a signal there based on traffic that's coming out of that development. So this is just an anticipation of that as well, so.
And that agreement that said we warranted that light was from the Meyer you just stated. That was in about 2015?
15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the professional services agreement with Crossroad Engineering, PC, for design and part-time inspection of the Commerce Drive and Meyer traffic signal.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item, request acceptance and execution of the following documents related to Phase 2 of the West Side Sanitary Sewer Interceptor. City Engineer Matt McElroy.
Yeah, this is our phase 2 of the west side interceptor that runs all the way along the west side of the city. We've been accepting these agreements for quite some time, and I think these are the last 5 that we're needing for this project to move forward. So I'll double check that. I've got a spreadsheet, but I'm pretty sure these are the last 5. I think I discussed at last Board of Works meeting that we were expecting these. So that should take care of everything, and of course, hopefully, once we know what the wastewater treatment plant shakes out, we can move forward with this project as well. So,
And Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we had to end up going to condemnation with any of them, correct?
correct, yeah, we were able to settle with all of them, so.
Which is kind of we've spent about 6 months doing it, but it was kind of a big deal, because condemnation is
Yeah.
a much longer process.
Ready? I'll move to approve and accept No. I'll move to accept and execute the following documents related to Phase 2 of the West Side Sanitary Sewer Interceptor Project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Matt. Next item, request acceptance of bids for the Johnson Avenue Sidewalk Improvement Project. Request award of construction contract to All Star Paving Incorporated as the lowest and most responsive and responsible bidder, and request execution of the construction agreement. City Engineer Matt McElroy.
Yeah, thank you. This project is sidewalks along Johnson Avenue. It runs basically from King Street up to just north of Hamilton Avenue. We received bids on March 24th. We got 5 bids. I'll go ahead and read those into the record. McGath Concrete in the amount of $294,111.50. Edward and Jones Concrete, Inc. for $214,792.81. Howard Asphalt, DBA Howard Companies, amount of $339,931.25. All Star Paving, Inc., $251,997. Calumet Civil Contractors, $253,000. After reviewing these bids, we determined that the low bidder, Edward and Jones, was disqualified. They didn't have all the correct documentation. So with that, we've moved forward with the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, which was All Star Paving, Inc. Which this project was well under what we estimated, but that's a good thing. And I think this is all being paid through the RDC, or funded through the RDC, so.
Yeah, what we had done there, if you see down at the bottom is the estimate's $428,450. The RDC is going to pay up to $250,000, and the Board of Works is going to pay for the rest, and I'm sure that they will probably be whatever that 20% runover is. The Board of Works will cover the rest of that whenever we get to that point. So, and I do, Matt, just for the estimate, I want to kind of defend your estimate there just a little bit. What we got to realize is, I think some of these estimates come off of the Jefferson Street project, which was a state project, and contractors seem, when there's state involved, jack the price up a little bit higher. And when it's a local municipality, it's a little bit better on pricing. So that is the big difference. I just wanted to explain that a little bit.
Thank you, yeah. And I looked at also not only that project, but other recently bid NDOT projects to kind of come up with justification for my quantity or cost. So that's why it's a little high. So I'm off, but off in a good way, so.
And this is our first year of trying to really go after contracting sidewalks. We talked in the past about how we'd been trying to get all of our alleys fixed, and just about every alley in town has been touched, and now we're wanting to focus on sidewalks. So that'll give us a little better gauging, we hope, the next time. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, if I might just touch upon the idea of the little check boxes there. Thank you, Matt, for reaching out to me. I know sometimes we kind of smile when we go through the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidding, but that's what the law requires. We first look to see who's the lowest. And if they're lowest and they're responsive, in other words, they have everything that they're required to have in the bid package, and we do use the word shall in our bid package, then they become responsive. And then if the documentation plays out, in other words, they say these are the jobs, we call, we make sure they've done it, then they become responsible. So in this particular case, we look first to the lowest. Matt reached out to me, and I said, but they're not responsive because they haven't included everything you have to. And then you go to the next one down. So that's, sometimes we smile about having all 3 of those checklists, but that's the reason you have all 3. They have to be both responsive and responsible.
And I think this is probably, correct me if I'm wrong, but only the second time that I remember going to the next bidder because they didn't have all the documentation.
And in our bid packet, there is a provision that the Board of Works can waive minor deficiencies in the actual bid documents, but you can't waive those when the bid documents have the words such as shall. So for instance, if you had a bid that had an insurance policy that said it was effective March 1st or May 1st instead of March 1st, and we go and we look and we find out it actually is effective May 1st, that's a deficiency because they've at least provided us the insurance that could be waived. In this particular case, the requirement is a shall and it cannot be waived, and it's very clearly identified in the bid documents. You must have your certificate of insurance, so.
So I'm good with these bids.
Okay. I'll make a motion to accept the bids for the Johnson Avenue Sidewalk Improvements Project and approve award of the construction contract to All Star Paving as the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder for an amount of $251,997. And also approving execution of the construction agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item, request the following performance letters of credit and subdivision performance surety agreements to be released for the Bluffs at Youngs Creek, Sections 1 and 2, and request the following subdivision maintenance bonds be accepted for the Bluffs at Youngs Creek, Section 1 and 2. City Engineer Matt McElroy.
All right, not as much to read this time. Yeah, I'm requesting the following performance letters of credit for Section 1 and Section 2 of the Bluffs at Youngs Creek. As far as performance letter of credit and subdivision performance surety agreement for Section 1, it's LOC 6297-10-5 for streets in the amount of $316,638.00. Performance letter of credit and subdivision performance surety agreement for Section 2, LOC 6297-20-5 for streets in the amount of $434,011.86. In replace of those, request the following subdivision maintenance bonds be accepted for the Bluffs at Youngs Creek, Section 1 and 2. Maintenance bond for Section 1, 268-206 for streets, amount of $65,966.25. Maintenance bond for Section 2, 268-207 for streets, $90,419.14.
I will make a motion to approve the following performance letters of credit and subdivision performance surety agreement be released at the Bluffs at Youngs Creek, Section 1 and 2 as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Matt. Next item.
Now we need to
Maintenance.
ask to accept the maintenance one. We just released the performance, now we need to ask them.
Okay.
For the.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, acceptance of the maintenance ones.
Let me get my wording.
No hurry. We were just checking Lynn to make sure she's
You're
paying
right.
attention.
I think your next motion is to accept the subdivision maintenance bonds as presented.
So moved.
No, that's her motion, not mine. I see her looking.
I'll make a motion to approve the subdivision maintenance bonds as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Lynn. Okay, next item.
Trying, Tina.
Request acceptance of bids for the 2025 Maintenance Improvement Program, asphalt milling, patching, and resurfacing project. Request award of construction contract to Dave O'Mara Contractors Incorporated as the lowest, most responsive, and responsible bidder, and request execution of the construction agreement. City Engineer Matt McElroy.
Last one. Yeah, this is for the Community Crossings Grant Project, 2025-1. It's just titled Round 2 because we are under construction of 2024-2, which is started early last month, or late, a couple weeks ago, I know that much. So we opened bids for this one March 31st at 2 p.m. We received 5 bids, and I'll go ahead and read those. All Star Paving Inc., amount of $2,733,700.49. DC Construction Services, Inc., $2,529,881.94. Dave O'Meara Contractors, Inc., $2,282,538.65. Milestone Contractors, $2,955,113.30. Grady Brothers, Inc., $2,988,059.29. So with this, we basically, with the low bid being Dave O'Meara, we'll get 50% split between us and NDOT. So that comes out to about 1.1 million. The way NDOT's been doing these contracts now is we procure a contractor, then they'll send us the money. So we're not gonna get the full 1.5 that we were preliminary awarded, but we will be able to go for that, the rest of that amount for the second funding application later this year in July, which would be about 358,000, so.
And that's actually, like this year, you've heard us talk about 2024 round two that we're doing this year. It's basically the same thing as last year. We didn't use all of that.
Right.
We try to use it all, but trying to do the estimates for, actually, we thought it would be around $3 million.
So when you do the application, the 3 million is about the 1.5 that we can get from NDOT. So contractors, to get the contractor, are gonna bid low than that, which you could see there. And of course, with Dave O'Meara having another contract in town, I think their bid numbers just came in a little better because they're already here and they have good mob and demob prices, so.
So just to let the crowd know here, so with the 2024 round two, which is the same scenario that we're talking about, actually for next year, round two will be $714,000 counting our match and the state's match. But anyway, we had 1.2 million in the 2024 round two, and then this 2025 round one. Or actually, this year for the 2025 paving, this summer, we'll do $3,501,504.60 is what is proposed. And the city's portion of that would be $1,750,752.30. The rest of it as a grant to match that. So I just wanted to get that out there so that folks know that we are still applying for grants, and we're doing, Matt and your crew are doing a good job of going for those grants.
Thanks.
So, thank you.
Make a motion to accept the bids for the 2025 Maintenance Improvement Program, round number 2, for the asphalt milling, patching, and resurfacing project, and award the construction contract to Dave O'Meara Contractor Incorporated as the lowest, most responsive, and responsible bidder, and request execution of the construction agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Next item, approval and execution of outdoor lighting service agreement for the Bluffs at Youngs Creek, Section 5, Planning Director, new title, Joanna Timmel.
Good evening. Yes, this is the outdoor lighting agreement for Bluffs at Youngs Creek, Section 5A. It includes the installation of 4 light poles, and that cost is covered by the developer. So the anticipated electric cost for us will be $50.40 per month. Request that this be approved and authorization be given to the mayor to sign on behalf of the Board of Works.
I'll move to approve and execute the outdoor lighting service agreement for the Bluffs at Youngs Creek, Section 5A, and also authorize the mayor to sign off on that agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Joanna. There's no other business. We'll go into department reports, and Chip, we'll start with you. How's the flower planting going?
Taking away my thunder, jeez. Yeah, so we're still looking for 2 landscaping people, if anybody's interested. Actually, I said today, we've just given up at this point, which I wanted to have a quick discussion with you because we had 9 months of basically advertising that job, and we didn't get one applicant, not even one, even all the times I've joked about it. And I wanted to tell you about that. If you were watching social media today, we advertised for lifeguards today. Because what used to take 20 lifeguards now takes 40 or 50 lifeguards, and I want to explain to you why, because we need about 10 or 12 more. Is that at this time of year, we're already preparing like schedules and that kind of stuff for lifeguards, and we've hired 30. And the average days that each person needs off is 26 of the 60 that it's open. So that's what we're dealing with applicants nowadays, is that everybody wants to do something, but they only want to do it at very specific times. And I need 26 days off in the summer for a summer job, which to us up here is a foreign concept, because we're like, wow, when we worked, we wanted to work. So that's what we're dealing with. So if you know anybody that wants to be a lifeguard, we're also looking for lifeguards still. We do need probably 10 or 12 more based on those numbers that we've gotten here lately. So
For one day.
yeah, and if anybody wants to, we'll obviously take landscapers too. Couple other things I wanted to run by you. The Easter egg hunt, believe it or not, don't look at the weather outside, it's this coming Saturday. It's going to be in the 50s, which is better than normal because it's normally in the 40s. So that's coming up this Saturday at the amphitheater, and I'll talk to you about the amphitheater in just a second. And then there's another event coming up in April I want to let you know about. It's on the 26th of April. And the Tree Advisory Committee every year has an Arbor Day celebration that we do at the Urban Forest. It's usually at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we do like a tree planting. And the Tree Advisory Committee will talk about tree plantings and all kinds of cool things about trees in the urban forest. And unfortunately, the crowd is usually the mayor and I. So I'm trying to get the word out to maybe we can double it to get 2 more people to come besides him and I. And that would be nice. So that's coming up on the 26th at 10 o'clock in the morning.
So I do want to add to that a little bit, because the tree board, they work hard at trying to take care of our trees. You know, they're doing a tree manual. I don't know if they're quite done with that yet on the urban forest. And they do a lot of work, and it means a lot to a lot of people here in town with our trees. So I would like to see people show up, you know, so.
We'll get Les to come out, or somebody come out. Just one person, come on.
So it is the 26th, a Saturday.
It is a Saturday at 10 a.m. Yep. Yeah, it's usually fairly nice weather. I mean,
It's usually, now watch this year, it won't be.
It won't be,
It usually
yeah.
is, so. Anyway, go ahead.
Finally, the last thing I'm sure you're interested in is I was talking this morning, everybody was talking about all the flooding and all that kind of stuff. I really don't care about the flooding when it happens. All these important people do. I care about cleaning it up afterward. And there's some damage in the parks. I was talking to the mayor earlier today. The dog park has some damage. You can drive by and see it. There's some damage at Youngs Creek Park that we're trying to figure out exactly how much. I think the splash pad is damaged because it's electronically fired, and some of that electronics is in the ground, which I'm sure has filled up with water. The playground at Province Park, the fence there took some damage too. I was talking to the mayor, I may just take that fence down and not even put it back. But that's really, of all the water we saw everywhere, that's the only thing I can find. Is obviously there's a bunch of cleanup, but as far as what I would consider damaged, not that much really compared to what we saw. So, which is a good thing. So, that's all I had.
Thank you. Chief?
Just a couple quick things, staffing related. We have 2 new officers getting sworn tonight. We have our last opening. We have an officer coming on tonight to do some PT testing. I'm sure he'll be fine. The other thing is, I just want to say thanks to everybody that came out over the weekend. Police, fire, street department, everybody that was out. There's a lot of people out moving around, and I appreciate that. It was nice to see everybody working together. And even though we do have a plan that maybe some folks may not know about, we didn't have to go into full force with that. So it was nice, and everything worked out good. Yep, appreciate it.
Chief?
I'm going to be echoing Kirby.
You want me to switch them around the next time?
It's all right. I had my last position filled today. He started today, went through orientation, so he'll be on shift next week. So next city council meeting, you'll be swearing in 3 new guys. So, and then I just wanted to thank everybody. We did great. I think we did great this weekend. Everybody came together and worked great as a team.
Thank you. Sherry?
Just working on billing and getting ready to do our May 6-month average downloads. So busy time right now.
You're always busy.
I know. Same stuff, but busy, yeah.
Good job.
Busier, thank
Yeah,
you.
you do a great job. Rick,
I don't have anything for you, sir.
Joanna, and then Joanna, if you don't mind, your first time officially up here. And can you tell everybody what your role is with the flood plan? Because what Chief talked about, we do have a flood plan in place, and it's really interesting, and Joanna and I are texting back and forth, and we know about, she knows more about it than anybody else, but we know about which road is going to start flooding by the gauges 2 miles away from here. So would you talk a little bit about that, please?
Sure. The city of Franklin, like a number of communities, has a flood response plan. Within that plan, it outlines all of the parties that are necessary in order to respond. It also includes some information that we share in between each other, but also with the public of kind of scripted notices or information. That way we can put it out, rather quickly than trying to have to draft something. In that plan, there's information based off of the amount of rainfall that has occurred, the amount of rainfall that's coming, the intensity of the rainfall, and then also coupled with a stream gauge that is actually located on the Youngs Creek down by Amity. In regard to the Youngs Creek stream gauge, in our plan, it identifies the different levels. So essentially, when that level hits 7 feet, that's when we start taking action of seeing, are we going to have a minor flood event, a major flood event, or something even beyond that. So that way we can all start preparing. Once it hits 10 feet is typically where we see what we did this weekend of all the places that we normally see it. We actually have a map. It shows which streets we'll need to be putting signs in front of on high water marks. It includes areas that are going to take water. Also identifies which structures are most likely to take water. And then it goes from there to 13 feet, which is more along the lines of a major flood event. And each of the maps go further and further out saying, this is what we anticipate to happen. What is helpful about that is it's allowed us to look at areas that do incur flooding that we wouldn't anticipate. So is that because something had changed in the environment? Is it something that changed with the drainage system? Is there something that's failing? So we've been able to identify that in the past. For example, on Amy Lane and Arvin, right there, we have seen a lot of flooding where it would go up to the doors of Culligan, and it would stay there for a time being. What we found is that the Roaring Run ditch that then takes that water south had some areas that needed to be addressed. There was a storm drain that needed to be addressed. So we were able to work on that over the past couple of years, and if you notice this year, we did have that flash flooding where it did go up to the doors of Culligan, but it receded much faster. So in order to address those things, it helps to have the plan, but it also allows us to reassess the validity of what we have on file right now. So what we're doing as staff is we'll be taking those maps, coming together, identifying what we saw, and then making modifications as we see fit.
Good job. Awesome. Thank you.
How far, how many feet did it get in 2008?
2008?
Yeah.
15.62 feet,
And what was it this time?
12.57,
2017?
13.6.
See what I mean? This is good stuff. I love this. We were texting this the other day.
So hopefully those are about accurate.
You do realize everybody out there thinks you guys are nuts.
That's just proof we are.
Glad you're doing it. Glad you're doing it.
Thank you, Joanna, and to the street department and the police and fire, and everybody just worked together. It was pretty nice to see all that, so it was good. At least it wasn't a snowstorm, and the snow is still here. At least the water's gone, so. We do know that there was some people that had some flooding in their homes, and we had a little bit in the basements. We feel for those folks and wish there was something that we can do, but there's not. So we'll continue to keep working on flooding, and I can assure you that every development that we do has flooding issues in mind. I mean, that's the number one thing, and I know we hear a lot of times, well, why do I have to do this pond? Why do I have to do that? That's a waste of money. Well, this is a perfect example of why we have to do that in our city, so. Okay, I'll get off of that one now. Thank you, Joanna.
You're welcome.
Nothing else?
Nothing else?
Okay, Sally?
I have a couple things. First of all, we weathered the storm at the wastewater plant. We always worry about our Youngs Creek lift station, but I think some of the rehabilitation we've done to that line has helped. The lift station peaked and went down pretty quickly, so for us, that's good news. And the wastewater plant did as well as can be expected. Also, the second thing was, we applied for a construction permit for our new wastewater plant upgrades, and that has been approved through IDEM. So we're a go, and I talked to Wessler, and they have about 3 weeks of final touches to put on, and then they will come to the board for approval to advertise and proceed.
Thank you. Tara, do you have anything to add? I don't have anything. Jan? Tina?
Nothing, sir.
Ken?
No, just to add, appreciate the efforts. I saw everybody working out this weekend together, but appreciate your all's efforts.
Lynn?
No, sir.
And I have nothing to add, just want to again tell everybody, great job, keep up the good work, the A-team, appreciate it. I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.